YouTube. Good afternoon. It's Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, and congratulations on the best castle day ever. Today is a collaboration day. I'm collaborating with Angela Anderson and the Frugal Crafter, Lindsay. So you know you had a good day on the last leg of your castle journey. Are you feeling like you just had every one of your castle dreams realized? I'm pretty excited. On the mic today is my husband, John.
Hi, guys.
Today I'm going to be showing you how to paint Hogwarts Wizarding School at night, and we even have an adventure going on down in the bottom, little questers. So there's a little story happening in our painting. I'm going to show you every step of the process of how this is constructed so you can paint this at home. And if you check the floating eye card, that's the little eye that floats in the corner of your screen, and also in the description below is links to my collaborators' castle. Angela did an incredible fairy tale, and Lindsay did a beautiful kind of French countryside with flowers and daffodils in watercolor. So pretty much whatever you're looking for, we're the source of all the art. How you guys doing today?
Oh, so good.
I'm gonna get my little Hedwig mug up here.
Oh, you came all kitted out today, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. No, not a muggle. Clearly, muggle. Please, I'm completely a member of the Weasley family. We all know it.
So
we all know it. I like muggles, just not one of them.
Well, I'm ready for this today. This is awesome.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So listen, even if you don't draw, never stress on any of my lessons because there's traceables. Those can be found in the links below at TheArtSherpa.com.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We keep them up there. They're free. You can just go get them. Whenever you need them.
Yep.
Don't let drawing be your thing. Guess what time it is?
What time is it?
Wishing time. And since this is a
time.
magical collab, all our wishes will come true, right? That's theory.
I think that's very much the theory.
We like to put wishes on our canvas and then paint over them and send that good positivity into the universe. Like you do. And I have one up already, Healing for Amanda's Hand.
Oh, yes.
I saw this in one of my groups, and I just thought, this isn't when she asked for it. I just felt like putting it out there because I was like, oh, your poor hand. So I did that.
So we had a wish from Ethel.
Hi, Ethel.
She had a wish for that Cinnamon has the strength to persevere to help us draw faces because we all love doing them and they feel like it's a long journey. So
Ethel,
they want to wish
I
you the
have
strength.
all the strength. I'm going to get this entire community to realism. They're not even going to know how it happened to them. You know, I'm going to blow everybody's mind.
And we're going to wish Marilyn to have a successful 50th birthday party.
Oh, yes.
And for all the big 50-50 birthday parties that are coming up out there, and for those who've recently celebrated them, awesome art high fives. It's a big thing.
Oh, Angela Anderson's dad's birthday.
And other birthdays that are coming up, we're going to give
this
those
weekend. So happy birthday to all that. Who else's birthday do we have?
I think Chrissy's mom's birthday is also this weekend, and we got a bunch of other birthdays.
Yeah, there's so many birthdays.
So many. I'm going to see if I can pull up the birthday list here. I've got our wishes list up here.
Well, wishes is good,
wishes
too.
Good too.
I'm gessoing over this canvas with Black Gesso, so I can just wish it up. Let's wish for love and peace around the world.
Absolutely. And we're going to give Hannah some love. Wish for healing powers for her and her family there. That's great.
I love it. And how about we wish that everybody who does this painting has a great painting experience? That you guys just have the best time. That's my wish for you when you do this painting, is that you just have fun and enjoy every part of it. I'm going to give some hearts there. Yeah, something for the... If you guys are wondering what I'm drawing on, this is watercolor pencil, and I'm gessoing over this with Black Gesso, so this just really goes right away into the paint and into the universe and makes the world just a little brighter, in my opinion. So I have an 11x14 canvas.
Oh, I was just going to say, we have so many wishes coming in here, so many light keepers with us. I just wanted to say thank you to all of them because they're definitely, our communities are capturing those wishes and putting them on the canvases, and we thank you guys so much for that help.
Yeah, and you can take someone else's wish and put them on the canvas. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If we have any last minute ones, I got to get them on now before I just over.
If you want, we have one for successful surgery.
Yes.
So we'll get there's several for successful surgeries.
Everybody gets good doctors and gets successful surgeries.
Oh, several of those. And wish for all of those people in England and London who need love.
Yes, tons of love still going out to London. And really the whole world. Listen,
really
world.
The whole world, yeah.
Stop doing that nonsense.
That's
it doesn't help.
Nope.
It makes no point.
So thank you guys.
Make some art. People will hear you better.
So what do we have today? What are our
Today,
materials?
I have an 11 by 14 canvas board. These are boards that are ready to paint on. You can hang them on the wall. You can frame them just like usual. They're not like better or they're just different than a canvas, but they're equally good to paint on. Gessoed, ready to paint, but we're going to gesso over it. So I have palette paper to mix my paint on. Today my colors are titanium white, Prussian blue.
Oh.
If you don't have Prussian blue, you can mix a little black into your phthalo blue to get a similar effect. So don't feel like you can't do this project.
I forgot. Could you look up at the camera? I keep forgetting to tell you that I turned the camera around. So if you see over there, you can turn your paint over for everybody.
Ah.
I had it upside down. Sorry about that. So it's all right side up now. There we go. Sorry.
I keep doing that.
I know. I think it's my fault.
I'm sure it's mine. I'm just guessing, but you're being sweet. So titanium white, the Prussian blue, which you can do phthalo blue and black if you need. Dog's in purple, but really any purple that you have. Cad yellow medium. A good place to save money is hue, but you know Hansa yellow works. A lot of other yellows will work here. So don't feel like you're stuck. And of course, as always, hue works. Cadmium red light, but you know naphthol red light will work here. And of course, if you just really, really have money, you can do Peril red. You know, if you just want to be like, I'm sorry, I'm doing Ferrari red today. I'm also using acrylic glazing liquid in gloss. I love this stuff. That's why I talk about it. It slows down the drying time of my paint and allows me to tint or glaze. Very cool stuff. I have black gesso, black colored gesso. Now I'm going to use the gesso because it's going to give me enough tooth to do my transfer of my tracing for the drawing.
What do you mean tooth?
It's got the chalk in it, so it'll pick up the carbon.
Ah.
Well, in this particular case, the white pastel chalk. It's on the back of my tracing paper. And so that's why I'm using it, and it's nice and matte. And I'll use it for the black in this painting. So that's the first thing that I'm going to put out is my gesso. I need to get another tub of this. I'm not overall a fan of this company's gesso necessarily all the time, but I love the black gesso. Okay. Feeling that I have. And you can see I'm like, ooh, I'm at the end of my gesso.
Towards the end.
I'm going to have to store it upside down while we're painting, so the next time I try to squeeze it out, there's something there. I'm just saying.
Now, is that the official way you're supposed to clean that with your pencil there, just kind of poking it in there? And I'm just.
Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, we all are watching. We're all watching that.
No, but, I mean, it works. I just stab it in there and get it open and then wipe it off because I don't properly care for my tubes of paint, so I have to do all kinds of things. I have all kinds of hacks. I have a 1-inch stiff white nylon, right, brush, and this is nice and stiff. It's firm, and it doesn't pull in too much water, so like when I touch it, you can see my hand isn't just sopping wet.
Now, if you don't have black gesso.
Black paint.
You just use black paint?
Yeah, and they sell black canvases really cheap, often on sale at the art supply store.
Oh, good.
And that gesso, those canvases are beautiful, even if it's in a line you may not have liked before. Interestingly enough, the black gessos are generally better.
Because those are a smaller run boutique. They tend to be done a little more focused.
Care or something. And they don't get the weird coatings on them that say, I know I'm supposed to be for painting, but today I say no. I'm also finding I have less trouble with that on the canvas boards. The canvas boards take the paint easier. Things you learn. So better storage, take the paint easier, more economical. If I'm painting a lot, sometimes that's a good choice for me. Right?
And canvas boards are nice because they're easier to store.
Yeah, super easy to store, and they're really economical. You can really upgrade your canvas boards sometimes where you might not be able to upgrade your canvas.
Now,
and cost. It's an interesting thing.
Isn't gesso harder on your brush?
Yes!
Now, why is that?
Because it's got all that chalk in it. It's got grit. And grit in general. So, watercolors, when they come into acrylic, are always traumatized. I'm saying this because I know we have a lot of Lindsay's viewers today. Are traumatized by the damage this medium does to their brushes. Right? Because, you know, as a watercolorist, you could drop $400 on a brush and probably gift it to your great-grandchild, and it would still be like when it was made.
Right, because it's such a gentle media.
It's a gentle medium, and it's not damaging to the materials. Acrylic is the tooth of the canvas, the acrylic paint itself, the gessos, all of that wear out the brush, which is why I like to find that balance of getting a really great brush,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I wouldn't necessarily spend, $500 on one.
Right.
Just wouldn't do it. You could do it as an oil painter, not as an acrylic painter. You got to find those balances in acrylic. We're rebels. So like this brush here, this is super economical, right? But even my very best background brush, which is my 2-inch bulletin cutter, it's not that bad. And I mean, it's a best dressed, fully hog, interlaced brush.
Right.
Right? It's like it comes to do the full deal. It does not play.
What's that mean? It's a Jedi brush.
It's a Jedi brush, man. And I love it. But, the thing they both have in common is I recognize they're going to have a particular lifespan in my acrylic paint. And, I keep that in mind. I'm going to sip my coffee because you know what I need more today is coffee.
Oh, it's so nice. I have tea myself. I am
you?
having tea today.
Oh. I'm going to one more sip.
Oh my gosh, everyone, it's so nice to see everybody here. I just wanted to say hello. Hello, fellow artists, Madam M and Maudie and Lila and Kelly and Denise and all of our community out here today. Oh, and I see the Frugal Crafter and I see
Loved your painting.
I also see Angela's here.
Angela, okay, so Angela's like here. She's like here remotely. She's like so savvy.
Yeah, she's here. Everyone's here.
Angela
All of our
your painting
friends,
too.
all of our moderators here. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. It's so nice to see you guys. So, thank you so much.
I'm gonna dry my painting now.
Now that we're done saying hello, see now she's gonna see she does this on purpose. She leaves me out here to like go, hi guys, I'm all alone and I've already said all the things that I need to say to you, and but gosh, thank you for coming and hanging out. We really do appreciate it. It's been a really nice day where it's a nice Friday afternoon where we get together and just do some painting, and I don't know what to say other than it's there's a smile on my face. Hope you can hear it. I enjoy having you guys here. Don't forget to do the like, comment, subscribe, share. Remember, we have the Wishes Forum that you can go out to, and you can leave wishes there for future shows. You can find our chat where you can find everybody else at. You can find information about Big Art Quest and all those other things. Don't forget to go out and check out, if you just come here late today, don't forget to go check out Lindsay's and Angela's shows from earlier today. They broadcast before us, so if you're coming in late, don't forget those will be available on VOD. And, of course, we'll have links in the description and iCards and all of those magical places, that we do have all those things. So thank you guys for all coming, and, we really appreciate and love seeing you guys here. So, ta-da! Look, it was perfect timing. It was almost like we rehearsed that.
It is like we rehearsed it, totally. So you might have noticed that as I dried this, it went very matte. The pigment that they use in the Black Gesso is the pigment that you see in Mars Black, which is, hopefully they have it listed on here. They don't always on Gessos give you the pigment number. And they have chosen not to do that. But I know it is Mars Black. So, if you needed to know that.
Okay. So you've got some paper there.
I do. This is my tracing. This is the original drawing that I created for this. I sketched out my design when I knew what I kind of wanted.
You sketched it out?
I sketched it out. And then when I was real happy with what I had done, this was actually really challenging for me. I've been asked for Hogwarts for a really long time.
Now, we've got this. This is available as a traceable.
This is available as a traceable. We take this and then I make a black line version of it, where sometimes community members donate a traceable, which is always really lovely. You'll see that sometimes too. And we make a black line version of it and upload it to the internet where you can print it out yourself and transfer it to paper. One of the questions that I get as you see I taped it on here. On the back here, do you see this kind of like scuffing?
Yes.
Is chalk. White chalk, because what's going to transfer onto black paper?
So how did you get your chalk to be sharpened like that?
How did I get my chalk? I put it in the sharpener. I sharpened it in my sharpener.
Just as your pencil sharpener?
I just put it in my pencil sharpener. It's not good for your pencil sharpener, but you can see I do it.
Oh, nice. But that's how you get your nice little point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll sharpen an eraser. I'll sharpen all kinds of things.
So you get that transferred in there, and then we're going to have to do some dancing. I'm just letting you know.
Okay. So one of the things, what was I saying? I'm saying something interesting. So I get asked a lot about these transfers. Is how do I get this transferred on my canvas? Obviously you do the rubbing and you follow the lines. I've got a hard pencil here. I wouldn't want to use something soft because it wouldn't press the chalk into my canvas, right? Tape it down, all of that. If you can't get an 11 by 14 printout, the aspect ratio would be a 9 by 12 canvas, which is really easy to get. It's just the painting would be a little bit smaller. So if I had a 16 by 20, it'd be an 8 by 10. If I have an 11 by 14, it's a 9 by 12. Ooh, that's interesting. Isn't it?
You're playing maths with me, and
yeah,
I can't do that.
It's art math. This is what they don't tell you in art school, is that there will be math. Because if they told you, you'd run away screaming. There's actually quite a lot of math in art school. If you're a little brush, I'm so sorry to break your heart.
Although there's good chemistry stuff too. So like
there's fun stuff in art school. Sometimes there's even fire.
If you like chemistry and you like baking, then you will like pottery.
Yes. Yes, or glass blowing.
Or glass blowing, which involves fire.
I love my little boat down here with my 2 little adventurers.
Mm-hmm.
It's sailing off into some adventure. They're gonna.
What are they doing? They're like waving.
No, there's a little cape. There's the red cape waving
Ooh.
off, and there's the front. So it's a pair of friends from Hogwarts Wizarding School. Maybe this is an adventure we heard about. Right? This might not be an adventure that we know about, but it's happening. Right? We all know about the famous, Boy Who Lived, but there's other wizards. Seems to me pretty much it's always adventure for everybody all the time. Otherwise, why be a wizard?
I would be all wizarding out, man.
I would be too. I'd be like, I'd be so hard to contain.
Well, we can't talk about the other show though.
What other show?
The Magicians, because there's too many spoilers to have happen there.
Yeah, no. But we're all pretty much up on
But
Potter.
that's all, yeah. We're all on Potter, so.
So I'm excited. And it's been a fun day watching everybody else's collaboration, everybody else's castle. I love what Angela did. It was such a beautiful fantasy fairy tale castle.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of the gorgeous German castles. I love what Lindsay did. Also because she did watercolor, which I was really hoping she would do. Because sometimes one of my number one questions is like, how is watercolor different than acrylic? And she covered a lot of that in this, in her thing, which I appreciated.
Mm. I like your little castle embattlements there.
Yeah, I'm adding the embattlements. Not like accurately or anything.
You're just giving the emotional
I am
sense.
not a good architect. Actually, earlier today I was commenting that Lindsay was a good architectural painter. Because she is. And that, everybody has like stuff in their art that they do well. But I rock eyes, so, we all got stuff. Everyone's going to love the eyes from Big Art Quest. They're going to go bananas.
Yes.
Bananas. And these little weird spires. I had to look at so many screenshots of the castle from so many angles. It's a really complicated castle. And I wanted to create something that everybody could paint easily. Right? But that was an accurate silhouette. So...
Oh, yeah.
It was quite a thing to try to figure out this particular view.
It's sort of a silhouette plus plus.
Plus plus.
It's like you get bonus layers of silhouette.
Yes. Well, it's not. What it is it's a night painting, which is some of my very favorite painting, especially from the Dutch.
Yeah.
It's a weird factoid about me you might not know.
So
make sure that this line right here, when you're tracing it in, is as level as it can be.
Because that's the water line, right?
You didn't even know, did you? That was going to be this cool.
Maybe.
You've been here a minute,
I thought it would be cool.
If something didn't transfer over, whatever, I have a white chalk pencil here to sort of just sketch it in, and
nice.
I can, if you use a colored pencil on your tracing, sometimes it can be easier to know what you've managed to capture and what you missed.
So, I had warned you there that you were going to have to do some dancing there,
Did you?
Yeah.
What dancing? I don't know about no dancing.
We've just got like a whole group. We got over 430 people here with us.
Oh my gosh, so many wizards!
There's just so
dance,
many.
Wizards.
They just wanted to come in.
Let's get our robes on and give it a go.
So all you guys at home, whenever we break 300, we like to say we are Sherpa, and we're way over that today. So thank you guys all for coming and joining us with us. It's always just so much fun, having you guys
Every
together.
time you play this, I think you're Rick-rolling everyone.
No, not today.
You need that clip.
I do. But, you know, if you're at home and you can get up, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, celebrate with us that you're alive. Remember to dance, and we're just happy to be here with you. Happy to celebrate today with you. Happy to paint with you. So, thank you guys for joining us. We'll get on to some painting fun, and we'll...
What's that?
Painting. You're going to do that?
No, I'm not going to do no painting.
No?
So this is Prussian blue. This is hue.
Yeah.
That's because sometimes you can get the real pigment in a paint in acrylic, and sometimes you can't. It depends on expensive the materials. If the process is still, you know, achievable, like Indian yellow, it's not. There's not really enough buffalo to collect enough buffalo pea to work that out. So that's pretty much always hue. They don't even say hue anymore.
Dude,
it's just assumed.
what are you doing? I'm making paint, man. Leave me alone.
That's some real right there. That's some. I gotta get some white. Look at me squeezing out the last of the tube of titanium white.
How many hoots is this painting?
This is like a hoot.
A hoot?
This is a hoot.
A hoot?
The other thing you may want to make sure you have is fluid paint and a toothbrush.
Oh yeah.
Because for stars, that'll make your star work easier. Make your stars easier. It's part of my galactic set that's coming up.
So you're putting some, what is that out? You're putting out right there?
My acrylic glazing liquid gloss. This just got a rebrand, so the bottling looks a little different.
Yeah. Now, if
I love it. Look at it.
Yes. Your hoot scale was a 1 to 3 hoot scale.
Yep.
Right? And 1 hoot is really if you've never painted before, right? You just try it out, man. You can do it.
You're just not really sure how to get that stuff on this thing to that thing. That's where you are. I feel like this thing, brush. This stuff, paint. Maybe that thing.
Yep, canvas.
Canvas.
Good place to start.
Good place to start. So that's really what the hoot scale is about. And if you're there, if you're like, man, it's been a long time since I've done any of this, this is a really good painting. Plus, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull out a little of my pure Prussian. It's a pure Prussian, man.
Prussian.
And I'm going to come here and lay this right on my black canvas.
Now, if you don't have pure Prussian, what could you substitute that?
Phthalo blue and a little black.
Oh, okay. Phthalo blue, little black.
Indigo might be interesting, too. Yeah.
Look what I got there. I got picture
So it's really about, because this is a limited color palette and it's a nighttime painting, so really essentially, this isn't what we call in art a tonal painting. It's more about values.
Mm-hmm.
And where the light is. So not as important on the colors.
Oh, that's good
Not
to know.
as important. I don't know I would do a cerulean blue. That seems like that would be a little bit chipper.
A little intense in the sky?
A little intense in the sky. So as I'm painting, my chalk lines will naturally go away. They'll naturally go away. I'm not even going to worry about taking this color all the way up, necessarily. I'm going to paint very carefully around my castle. And I'm using the edge of my brush. This is a number 8 bright. You can always tell there's the number. That's the type. It's a bright. This one is by Bristlon. This brush has a tremendous amount of what we call authority. Right? Think of Eric Cartman. This brush tells the canvas, respect my authority. And basically what that means is it pushes the heavy body paint around like it's nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't make me work for it. Doesn't make me beg.
It
just treats me well.
Just puts the paint on the canvas.
Just gets it on there.
And for acrylic, you kind of need that.
You need a synthetic bristle that's firm. You want a seated, this part should be firm, right? You want a nice coating on here that doesn't pop if you accidentally leave it in water.
Mm-hmm.
You want a firm filament, and I like brights because they're short length out from the ferrule and square, which gives me a lot of control over what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Now, on the canvas, I'm kind of controlling person. Not really in life, but here I'd like to be in charge. I have children already, so I have about as many humbling experiences in a day as I need. Covered there. So, you know, when you're first looking at this, it feels like, oh my gosh, I just didn't do anything. But what's going to start to happen is I'm going to get a smidge of my white out, and I'm going to take it over to my Prussian blue.
Yeah.
And when I paint it, it's going to just pop. Look at that. And I'm brushing that back. Look at this brush stroke. So I'm flicking this back in this sort of fluffy way. The blue paint is underneath it, so where this brush stroke tapers out, right, in the dry brush, it blends right into the blue paint that's already there. I laid the best laid plans, mice and men. Because this is going to be stars up here, I want this area to be blended, but it's still got to go quite deep.
Now,
Quite deep. And
so-
so I'm flicking this out here. This is the cloud that the moon is peeking through.
now,
Isn't that nice?
Vicky was asking, if you had been, using your brush and you had knocked you got the ferrule to work loose a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way that you can tighten that back up?
Yes, you can tighten your ferrule back up if you have a really good brush company.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are they'll take it back too.
Mm.
But yeah, you can. I have re-glued a ferrule down.
Yeah.
It's happened. Like if it's a brush I can't get again, or sometimes it's a company that's like, I don't really feel like replacing your brush. You're like sitting there going, hey, all right, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to rinse out my brush and come over and get some Dog's Name Purple and take it over to my Prussian.
Mm-hmm.
Prussian blue, little glazing liquid. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to add some of this sort of galactic sky. It's subtle, but it's stunning.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if our camera can see it today. Can it see it, guys?
Yeah, I think we can see it pretty good. I've been trying to keep things pretty adjusted here.
Yeah. I warned John, because whenever I do these dark paintings, another thing that you can do is you can scumble with your brush a little bit and kind of take this around and
Yeah.
make this a little uneven. The trick with any sort of clouds, and that's why I actually had you guys trace this in, is create these uneven lines.
Now,
That's what you're looking to do. I'm going to take this purple up into my black.
Now, if they want to know where you got your black canvases from, and two, if you are in a country where they don't have them, what would you suggest they do?
Well, I didn't get a black canvas. I gessoed my canvas black.
Oh, well, that's true.
And if all you have, you can paint this with black paint. You can just paint your canvas black.
So it's not strictly necessary.
No. They just happen to have black canvases if you don't feel like painting them.
Hmm.
Some places. Tone canvases are trending right now. I expect to see more and more of them around.
Mm-hmm.
So see, I'm just continuing this because I got to have something for the stars to hang into.
Yeah.
We want to let the stars hang in. Got some just pure purple here. Well, interesting when I put it over the black. And painting around my building. Painting around. The edge of this brush helps me work these crazy corners. Shape of the brush is my friend. And the black canvas underneath creates the depth I need for this to feel like a night painting. And any place that gets away from you, you can always go back, interestingly enough, with your black. See?
Oh, yeah. And you just kind of darken it back up a little bit.
Yeah. Because gesso does paint into paint if you need it.
Oh, nice.
It is kind of cool. Now, about here is when I try to flick in my stars. You can get these in a couple of ways. If you're very relaxed about things being a little bit out of control, right, like that doesn't bug you, my toothbrush technique is fantastic. And then I'm going to show you a I'm not relaxed method. Right? Because sometimes we don't feel, I'm still like just purpling at my sky.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is what I'm doing. I'm getting ready to just do it, but I just want to make sure I have all this as much in there as I want to, so it feels like, like there's so few modern city lights out here, we're really seeing stars, is what we're trying to imply. Right, so that this shooting, and also so that the sky feels a little bit magical with this purple and blue.
Yeah.
So it's believable. Now I'm going to take my toothbrush, and this is my fluid paint. This is the easy method.
The easy method.
And you know I like the easy method. By the way, so I love this stuff. This is golden fluid paint. It's a soft body paint. You can see it's kind of like a smushy plop like my glazing versus my heavy bodied, which holds its shape.
Okay.
If you didn't have that, guess what else is fluid paint?
What?
Craft paint. I love this because the pigment load is high, and when it dries, the white doesn't fade out on me and stays very bright.
And it doesn't lift.
And it doesn't lift. But craft paint is still acrylic paint. So, you know, respect the budget. I've even seen an artist loft version of this. So I have this here. I do tend to run my little finger around the brush.
Mm-hmm.
This is not if you have a beautiful manicure. And I very carefully flick. And I do it at this stage because I know I'm going to be painting the rest of the canvas. And any little errant guys that get away,
Now,
I'll be painting out.
can I comment why I, as a amateur backyard astronomer, love this particular technique?
I would so interested to know why.
Okay, so you know how like naturally there are less stars closer to the horizon than there are farther out with that technique of spraying?
Yeah.
That's totally the way that it works in the sky.
Oh.
Because there's more ambient light towards the horizon, your eyes can't see as many stars. So it sees more stars the farther away it is. So I always like this technique done the way you do that because it looks good.
Well, I also have here a nail dotting tool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll dot in my 3 most prominent stars to say they'll be here, and that kind of gives you the idea. The other way you could do this is you could take a dotting tool very easily and dot in your own stars. You would just have to make sure that you did some of them bigger and smaller.
Gotcha.
Right? And that's what you would be doing. So either dot them in or spray them in. I've seen people do a nice flick on a fan. Wish y'all had my fan brush because then you could really flick. Just saying.
Next time.
Next time. Soon. Soon. Soon, soon, soon. So now I'm going to bring a little of this dark blue here, and I'm going to kind of create another little line of secondary little clouds in the sky.
To give some depth to
To
it?
give some depth, and to enforce that, I'm going to pick up a little bit of white.
Ooh.
And I'll just be like, oh, do. See that?
Oh, that looks so...
Second little barely...
So cloudy.
So cloudy and magical. It feels like all kinds of things could be popping out of this.
It does.
Have fun with this.
You could see a Dementor just go...
Yep. You could. Oh my gosh. You totally know.
It could be a... what are they called? Patronus.
Patronus is...
There we
I
go.
thought about putting a Patronus in.
Yeah. I knew the words could come there.
So I've taken a little of my white paint into my Prussian blue, and I am dusting up a highlight along these clouds. There's a moonbeam that's going to be peeking out here.
Okay.
And it will illuminate the edges of these clouds. And then the rest of these will be in shadow. So to create that effect, I have to create this shadowing, then this shading.
They're
And now I
illuminated.
need this highlights. Isn't that lovely?
They're illuminated by magic.
It might be. I try to make the sky feel like this was definitely some undiscovered adventure that, you know, we weren't aware of happening. So I'm coming here along this edge with this dark blue. It has a little bit of white in it so you can see it. I'm going to paint the little edge along here that I traced in very carefully. New painters can have a really hard time. See, I'm going to press my brush in on the corner and push it out. On a lot of brights, on many, many brights, this will absolutely in acrylic destroy your bright. But these brights won't. So, it's that balance.
So Ruth says she thinks it's funny that I'm excited about the sky. Her husband loves the skies too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, and I think that's, I think there's a lot of amateur astronomers out there who enjoy paintings of the sky, and so I think that these have a nice appeal for.
And I think, for all of us imaginative people.
Yeah.
Right?
And
There's people who look up and wonder.
This is a fun and easy way of doing it too. So
Super easy way. It doesn't mean it's not a sophisticated technique. It doesn't even mean it's not how we would do it, no matter what. It's just that explaining these steps allows you, even if you're new, to understand how a painting is built. I'm just taking my darkest Prussian blue here, and I'm shadowing in towards the horizon. See how I pulled? That's my darkest color. Creating an absolute value. Grab some more deep Prussian blue to this cloud bank right here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And this is, our cameras really can't do this justice. It's an interesting thing.
It's because it's glossy when it's being laid down, and then it dries matte. So literally, it's like you guys can see is the camera has there's certain parts of the canvas that are super shiny and kind of they get that highlight. But as that goes away, then the camera can see it a little better.
An interesting thing just happened to me here. A little of my white right there picked into my brush.
Oh, yeah?
So how I handled that was I was like, okay, I need white up here on the edge anyways.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I just went with it.
Yeah.
That is maybe probably the biggest difference between having painted a while and being new is that whereas if you're really new, that might give you panic. And me, I'm like, I don't have to go get new white paint. It appeals to my need to just not have to be worried about it. So I'm going to take a little of the white and pull it in here so I can put in that little highlight we know we're going to have. Right?
Yeah.
We know we're going to have it. So you can see that the shadow is there, and now it feels like there's a bank that's closer to us and one that's further away. And I'm going to come right here and say, ooh, this is a whole nother bank maybe. And then come along the top of this one. Just making the shapes of these cloud banks is super fun. And I'm just using the white paint I have on my canvas. I'm just taking advantage of what's there. And I'm softening my brush stroke, as you can kind of see, pulling it back at feathers.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember feathering? Feathering it. So many ways to blend acrylic. Dry brushing, glazing, and wet into wet. Feathering. All these things get the job done. Pulling it back softly. See? The other thing, you can kind of see what's happening with my glazing medium is it keeps the paint behind it wet enough.
Oh, yeah.
That I've got the time to come in and do a blend, because when acrylic paint is dry, you will not be doing any more wet into wet blending. That will not likely be happening.
Then you have to do glazes?
Then you are really down to dry brushing and glazing. And make sure that there's a dark value between this cloud bank, this corner is what I'm ensuring. Just for shape. You know, like you do.
Yeah.
Whoop! Hey!
Hey.
There'll be none of that. None of it. Now, if this were a Hogwarts painting, in my mind, birds would be flying through as I painted it, and as I created it, it would become alive. I'm not saying J.K. Rowling is going to watch this paint along. I'm just saying if she did, that would be really cool. In my wizarding world, when I paint, what I paint becomes real, like those newspaper articles. But not like a Lovecraft story. That one is not as fun. I am adding a nice little white highlight here. Now I'm going to do something interesting, all in the center here, and I'm going to switch to a smaller brush so I have more control over what I've got going on. I'm now taking it down to a number 6 bright. And I'm going to take a little of my Prussian blue over to my white, and I'm going to make a much lighter color. Getting my glazing. And this in here is going to be painted this much lighter color.
It's almost like there's some daybreak happening in there.
Well, that's because I need it to be a little bluer than it is. It's just what's happening is...
It's awesome.
Is that the moonlight is going to be shining through.
Oh, yeah.
And so this will appear brighter. And so the interior of this has to be kind of a bright color. And then we're going to come through and highlight these clouds with a very bright white. Not pure white, but just a much brighter color.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I put the moonlight through here, it's going to pop the whole experience.
Magic.
It's magic. And it's important to, know that you're doing a trade in magic.
I think that everybody who paints does.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
just like, I don't
nice.
paint, but it's magic to watch you guys do what you do. And I get to do it every day, so I'm so happy about it.
In here, that's happening. When I have that all kind of worked out, right?
Uh-huh.
I can come through with a smaller brush. You know me, I love to go through my brush sizes. This is a number 2.
And speaking of wizards and sharing and all that, I would like for everyone. What are you doing?
I'm misting my stuff is drying on me really fast.
So I want everyone to share their paintings. I want to see their wizardly painting works.
Yes.
And so share those up on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and our website, TheArtSherpa.com. You can upload all your pictures there for free. We'd love to see them, love to share them. Just don't forget to do that because I want to see them. Little selfish.
So I'm just coming here with this lovely brush and defining my edge
Mm-hmm.
with the moonlight that is lighting up. Because, I mean, this is, mist in the air. In night, so I'm lighting up the mist as it would if a bright light were illuminating through the edges here, where the cloud line bank would be.
Nice.
The thinnest.
Yeah.
I'm offloading and reloading a bead on my brush. And I think this little bank needs a nice little line. Come and give this bank a nice little line. Isn't that fun?
Mm.
It just feels like... I think we've all seen this sky, haven't we?
Hi.
I have.
Pretty awesome.
I've seen it
Oh yes.
in the sky.
And it's always I grew up a scout, so I used to love laying out at night, looking up at the evening skies as they changed, sort of, and all the clouds would roll by and transform in front of you, so that it was never quite the same view moment to moment.
There we go. Look at that. So now we have a lovely, lovely, lovely. Maybe dry brush here, and like right here, I'm going to focus a little more of this lightness, and a little more here, because that's where the light's going to be focused. Focusing a little bit of light here because we know this moonlight's coming through here. And this is now a dry brush. So I'm scumbling a dry brush. Scumbling is that my brush is dry and I'm just depositing pigment over a dry canvas, letting the texture of the canvas catch it.
Ah.
That's all that's happening there. Isn't that lovely?
That is.
I'm enjoying it. And it's so few colors on this painting, and yet it works out so well. All right, purple.
Purple. Now, is this
Purple.
Dioxazine?
This is Dioxazine. Add a little Prussian blue into it because I want a continuity through my painting. And I'm going to come along this little mountain here. And I'm going to paint this distant little hill, mountain.
The little purple mountain majesty?
Yeah, I'm going to give it some purple. My faraways are purple today. They're purple. Purple, purple. And I'm just roughly painting it down. See, I'm letting it, hopefully with the wet you can kind of see it.
Deep purple.
Letting it just blend into the black. Like dry brush into the black.
Like smoke on the water deep.
Smoke on the water. I'm going to add a little white now. And I'm going to come along the edge of my mountain.
Now, how light
pull
a pressure,
this down.
When you're doing that dry brushing, how light a pressure are you using to get
Very light. We used to talk about it in terms of like how lightly would you pet a wet and angry cat?
That's right, I remember.
How angry is your cat today?
Wet cat pressure.
We used to say sunburn, but then a whole bunch of the world does not experience sunburn, so they were like, I don't really get your reference. Redhead with freckles. I'm like, oh yeah. Maybe you've never had a terrible sunburn that just made you think you were going to die. That's your point. So you see, I'm just implying that there's some moonlight coming down here.
Lighting that mountain.
Lighting them up. Lighting that little distant mountain, right?
The magic mountain.
It's like magic. Maybe I get a little blue and a little white and
some dwarves.
Like here. Look at that. Put that back there.
Oh, yeah.
I really love this. It's fun for me.
That definitely looks like a dwarven mountain.
Also, you guys are going to love this color combo. Prussian blue and Dioxazine purple make the prettiest combo.
It really is.
Yeah,
I like how
so
it just
cool.
It's like a built-in highlight.
It is. It just makes me all happy inside. We all need to be happy inside, right?
Yes.
My paint is drying out today.
That would be it. If you left all your happy on the outside, that would be like, man, can you just pick it up and put it back in? Just put
A little bit of this here along the top. And it'll be the lightest up here. Right? And then let's say that there's another slightly lighter little hill down here. Maybe catching some Moonlight. Just brush that down, let that blend into the black. Like that.
Yeah.
And then I can grab some deep purple, come along here, and deepen up this hill. Be in contrast here, right? Isn't that nice? Now you really
Yeah.
feel the shape of it. I feel the shape of it. Paint out my little chalk line. And if your kill gets too bright, you can come back with your Black Gesso.
Oh, yeah, and just add some more layers.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Now, the fun thing here, and I got to be careful going around my, I get a little of my blue and a little of my purple and some white. And I'm going to make the water. And so I come on the edge of my brush, following my very horizontal level line, like you do. And I'm going to just go back and forth. The brush is quite dry.
Could you
Making some highlights.
Could you flip the bill on your hat?
There we go.
Yay!
I may look really silly now. Nobody make fun of me.
Except me.
Except John. It may be a thing.
But no, you're saying the important part here is level.
Level is the biggest deal right here.
Mm.
As we're pulling this little bit of light reflection, and we'll come back and put it back a bit, and then come back. I come at this generally a couple of times, is what I like to do. And I'm just pulling that, pull some out, pull some straight out to the left, and blend it back in. It's super fun. Now I'm going to get some of my blue and some of my purple and maybe some of my glaze, and I'm going to come here and start, look at that, pulling that in.
Oh, yeah. Now you're keeping it darker as it gets closer to the mountain.
Yes, the mountain would be casting, this one especially is casting a shadow probably in this water.
Oh, yeah, that does make sense. So it's, yeah.
And this water would be very dark except where the light would be catching it. I could have just left it black, and if we were, you know, just trying to, you know, speed things up, like skip steps, we could do that. But I feel like you will be happier looking at it at home. Making a little corridor here.
We have a traceable for this up, right?
Yes, there is a
So-
traceable because, you know, here's the thing. You know, I think anyone can learn to draw, but you may not know how to draw today. And you don't have to draw to paint.
So, yeah.
These are just different skills. It's nice when they go together. They make good buddies.
Yes, and you'll likely develop them, you know,
Yeah.
at very similar time frames. But
Yeah. But don't like skip a creative moment. Every one of my favorite art teachers has some way of transferring the method on to
yeah,
paper.
lots of
canvas.
painters. Yeah, lots of painters use projectors or tracing or all or printing things. All of the above. There's all different ways of helping that out.
So I'm just along the little water's edge here.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know I'm going to have a lot of light cast from the castle, right? So one thing I can do is I can come get a little bit of white. Maybe not with purple. I have just enough of my boat here to know where the heck it was. And I'm going to come along this little edge here. On the edge of my brush. And just lighten my water's edge a little bit. Because there would be a little light from the castle. Does that make sense?
It does.
So we're just adding that little bit there. Get a little more white maybe. Like you do. Come along here. And I zig it. I come back out and zig back. Look at that. That's how I get a little ripple.
Yeah, it's just
Ripples are lovely. And I know, off the edge of the boat, I'm going to tell a ripple story. And I'm doing this now because the paint's still wet. And so it'll pick up a little bit of what's there. See?
Mm-hmm.
Now we can kind of see the ripples of the boat in the water, like you might want to. And I got a little high with my blue, but that's no problem because I come back with my...
Oh, you're black?
Yeah, look at that. It's like it didn't even happen.
Oh, yeah.
Now I get the fun of painting in my castle.
Ooh.
So on the mountains, I'm going to do this with the bigger number 6. I'm going to take, interestingly enough, a little of my Black Gesso into my Prussian blue and gray it a bit. Just a bit. It was already gray, but I'm going to gray it a little bit more. And I'm going to grab some white. And make this sort of rocky blue highlight. I'm going to come along the front here. Very lightly. And I'm going to dry brush. Look at this. My brush is dry. I'm just sort of scratching the highlights that the moonlight would pick up from my tower. I'm going to come out a little bit. And I zig and zag back a little of this rocky slope that's getting picked up by the moonlight. And then I feel like there'd be another one just coming off here. See?
Yeah.
These are just the highlight bits that are getting picked up. I'm going to get some more white on my brush. And I want a little contrast on the painting, so I'm going to come along the front. So the moonlight is maybe a little bit starker on the outer edges.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. See?
Yeah.
And so even though I have this sort of silhouette, it feels not as much, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Pull a little more blue, but it's got a hint of white on there. And just make sure that I've scumbled into this, because that creates the different little rock surfaces. Weirdly. It does. All right? Look at that. And it says, oh, I'm a rough cliff. Look at me go. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
My castle, similar deal. Little of my black, little of my blue, little white. I'm going to come here. And I'm going to pull back this first sort of shadow. This I want to keep kind of level. All right, I'm going to pull this back into my castle. And that is like my stonework that you can kind of roughly see on this castle.
That makes sense.
And I'm going to get a little white, bring it over here so I can lighten stuff up as I need to. But here on this forward-facing edge, what's reflecting on this?
Oh, yeah. A little bit of light.
A little bit of light. So I got to pull that back, don't I? Where the moonlight would be catching it.
Effort just glinting off the stone.
Glinting off the stone. And I might come back and pull it back a little bit there. Look at that. That's fun stuff. I like it. I like it. Hopefully you like it too. I'm going to come along this back mountain too. I'm going to make a nice little line. See, this is just imagine this is the building pad that the wizards created with their wands. I'm going to get some just Prussian. Right, because this side would be a little bit darker, but there's lighting from above. And from the walkway down to the boats, which is off over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought about that a lot. You're like, seems like she might have thought about this some. Yeah, I did. I'm going to need to put out...
What are you doing there?
Scumbling.
You're just getting some paint off your brush?
I'm getting some paint off my brush and taking advantage of a moment.
You just got to tell everybody what you're doing. Cause you're
I
just
know,
like,
I just had this like tick. So what's going on here? What I'm doing is I have this paint I got to get off my brush, and I think to myself, why waste this pigment? I need to scumble these rocks anyways.
Okay, you just
Scumble.
Tell the one Hooters what we're doing here.
I agree, Mr. Cooney.
Gotta like.
See, John keeps me like on point. He's like, hey, you got to explain that. That's crazy. What are you doing? I don't know, scumbling.
There's some stuff.
So I've got my brush. I'll show you again.
All right.
And I'm just creating a rough brush stroke here. If you don't like it, if you do it and you don't like it, guess what you can do?
Do it again?
You can come back with your black. Paint it out.
Uh-huh. Just add a little black and make it
Yeah,
disappear.
look at that. And it just suddenly starts to make sense. Maybe I'll make a little dark shadow here. Getting all bob up in this place. That's what we're doing. Look at that.
I like it.
It feels rocky, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. And I don't really have to even rinse my brush off because I was going to go get black anyways. Like you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to come back here. This can be a little bit darker, but I'm going to put some blue here because I know I've got some lights that are going to be shining. All right. A little bit happening here. It's not bright though. This is still nighttime. The nice thing about doing complicated architecture at night is that you don't have to kill yourself with every element of it. And if you're new to painting, it can really save you some anxiety. I just added some more Prussian blue, sort of darken that. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I'm going to get a little of my white. Get a little glop of white right here.
Yep.
And I'm going to come here. And as vertical as I can be, because probably wizards don't make crooked towers.
Well, here they intentionally do.
I am pulling back a little bit of highlight. And then I'll come up the...
If I could make a crooked tower, I would.
Would you?
Yeah. Be all wobbly and crookedy, and I would even make it so that it would be, you know...
I'll wipe off my brush and get some just Prussian blue.
It would be all teetery as you came
Would.
up it. Yeah. As
And
if it were held together by one rope.
I'm going to paint the tower behind it, this dark color. So they're both definitively there.
I like it.
But also dark enough to feel like they're blended in. These guys too. So they're there, but also painted. See how that's now it's in shadow? That's going to be really nice when we blew it up. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to do this whole tower right here initially in this blue. There's a little white on my brush, so it's not the pure pigment. And I'm going to use the edge of my brush. If ever you're painting something and you're like, man, this is really hard to do, switch to a smaller brush.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take that blue in, down the highlight. Look at that. Comes down the highlight. So I've still got that highlight there, and now I got this like blue rock. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Scratch, 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 scratch. It also helps to go scratch, 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 scratch. Whatever that you want to do is okay. I've got
I like
some
the sounds.
pure blue, and I'm just dry brushing this darker blue. But interestingly enough, I know later I'm going to light a light.
Uh-huh.
So it's okay if you want to, right around the front of this tower, to create a little bit of a highlight coming up into the castle for when we put this spotlight right there.
Now, Joe is saying he's just amazed at how much we're doing with just these 4 colors.
Isn't that fun?
You're getting a lot of
Oh yeah.
painting here.
Yeah. Super fun stuff. Now I'm gonna get to a smaller brush because frankly I know I'm gonna start having some trouble. So I'm gonna switch down to number 2.
Okay.
But I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing. I'm not essentially changing this. So I'm gonna paint in my little tower here with my blue and black and white, catching the front of it. All right. Let's get some more blue, maybe a little black, a little bit, but we still want it to be blue, and grab some white. My white's got to be skinning so bad by now. Skinning in acrylic paint is when the painting is starting to cure because it's hot and dry.
Exposed to air.
Yeah. Exposed to a dry air. I'm going to come here and I'm going to use the shape of this brush to help make my embattlements.
It's got a real sharp edge.
It has a very sharp edge, and so this little guy is doing the work for me. One of the things artists like to do is they like to make their tools do all the work. Like house elves. There's my daughter in the background.
Home from school.
Home from school. She gets early release on Fridays. It's a little privilege of her AP life. There's got to be a benefit for some of it. 'Cause it certainly comes with a lot of work. And I'm going to, see? Trim up to my original line, and it creates a nice embattlement, doesn't it?
Zoop. Just
Like, I'm not an architectural person, but I can fake it. And somebody who is an architect's like, no, you're not. You're not faking it.
And you just want to tell your eye enough of the story so it does the rest, right?
Yes, that is really my whole jam in painting is I try not to take the privilege of finishing the painting away from the viewer. You're like, the privilege? I'm going to grab some black right here.
Well,
Come around the back here, around the back side of this front battalion. Like, what is that called? You know these
embattlement. Oh, yeah, that's a tower there, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to just make sure that there's this shadow right there. I want to make sure that it pops out.
Well, I like how, impressionistic work, like, some dance music makes you want to dance. Some impressionistic work makes you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Because you want to finish it. You want to figure out how those shapes finish things.
Exactly. And your eye starts to tell you. Your brain is set up to make patterns. So impressionism is based on the idea that the viewer's mind is going to finish it anyways.
Yeah.
And what I don't take away from you, you don't have to correct. It actually creates a more relaxing viewing state for your mind.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. See, that one's distant and far off. Like it is.
Like it
I'm going to get
is.
some more white on this one. Up here, I'm going to do this little wing.
Oh, you have lots of hellos from the Netherlands.
Hello from the Netherlands.
Hello, Netherlands.
And I'm going to add another little wing.
All of our Dutch friends.
See? Because there's a wing on that castle.
It has a wing in it.
It does. Has a wing.
It must be the. It's so funny. There's a wing on the castle.
There's a wing on the castle. So to create this is I looked at a ton of screenshots, and then I also looked at the theme park.
Now, Deli.
Because I was like, how did the people at the theme park resolve, right, what they had to do when they were building what is obviously not going to be as big as Hogwarts, but still have it feel like Hogwarts to the millions of visitors who come to their theme park every year.
Now, Del was saying that she feels like she's going to have to watch this 1,000 times before she can even start doing it.
Really?
Now, I don't think so, though.
I think it's actually much more relaxing than you think. I have a darker color, so I've got the highlight right here.
Yeah.
I'm painting a darker color, the darker blue right here.
I would encourage...
And I'm going to paint out the stars, because that would confuse viewers, stars in your castle.
Oh, yeah, you got to get all that black out.
Otherwise, they're like, wait, what's happening?
And you can still see them a little bit in there.
So I just got to get them out. See it? Taking them out. And the blue is popping, and I'm blending the round shape. Like you do.
Like you do.
And then I'm going to get some white. Like you do. I'm going to come and paint his little fun friend. That's just sort of there. Leave that in shadow. I'm going to get some more white. Come along the front edge. And then on this wing, on this outer tip. And down the front edge. Pull that back a bit. Just that highlight. That's the moonlight, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to get enough contrast so people can see your castle. I'm going to come along the front edge of this one. Front edge. Fun stuff.
And this really is... Anyone who's just starting can try this out.
Anyone who's just starting could try this out.
So, Del, this is... Don't be afraid to jump in and try it.
No, don't. I'm taking a high highlight and I'm just pulling it out about 1/8 of an inch.
You know what the fastest way to get to your second painting is?
Do your first one.
Yep.
I'm going to put a little bit right here and pull it in. I'm going to make sure that my battlements are still here. I think you do. Maybe add a little highlight here so you can kind of see this guy. And then definitely the front of this guy needs a highlight, doesn't it? So I'm not going to rely on just the part where I light the windows to create the shape of the structure. I'm going to create a value study first before I light it, and that's what's going to make it feel really together. And I have just a little more highlighting to do. I'm loading up my brush and the distant towers. Front edge, pull it back a little bit. Front edge, pull it back a little bit. Top, same here. These things are seeing moonlight, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of moonlight. A little bit of moonlight. That's very fun stuff. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of white. Well, I'm going to probably put out more. Make sure that behind my boat, I've got my little wake, because that's going to be important. And while I've got these colors out, because everything, I've got a moonlight to do while I'm still in this color palette, the boat base to do. So I'm going to take my little Prussian blue and purple and get some white. I'm going to come right here, paint in the side of the boat. Little round side here, top. And I'm going to get some just deep blue. The back of the boat is in shadow. So see how we create that value? Now I'm going to get my detail out. It is a really good idea to have a detail brush. This is a 3/0 round. It gives me a nice little detail. So I'm going to get my little fluid white paint here and load it up on my brush. Make sure that I paint up the pole. That's the boat light pole. I do that in a really, see how I'm resting my hand if you're new at painting? I know my painting's dry, and this is acrylic, so I'm going to rest my hand right on it.
Oh, yeah.
If I was doing anything delicate, I would use a bridge. Just a shout out Lindsay, she's got a really good video on how to make a bridge. Just saying. So see? And look at that. That's a boat. That just happened. Now the front person, right? I'm going to make it a gray. A light gray. And they're just a little ball. And a little human shape. That's all they are. The girl or guy in the cloak, I don't want to be gender biased, is coming in a second. I'm going to take just a little bit of white paint though and create a highlight around this silhouette so you can see the person. Now, last thing that we have to do in this color set is pull down the what I got that's clean. I'm gonna make some moonlight. Like you do. And that just means that I need to make some light coming out here. So I'm gonna pull my white paint on my dry brush. And I'm going to make some moonbeams that fan out from the clouds. So I'm making the moonbeams. Making moonbeams. Making moonbeams, baking moonbeams. Adventure Time fans just went,
so
what?
So you just sort of, you're using the edge of the brush to create those.
And I'm using a fan. I'm fanning out the light.
From a point source.
From a point source.
Ah.
And then right here, I come in here and be like, so that's quite bright. Just making sure it's distinctly a bright light that it's fanning out from. Yes. That's all I got to do there. Isn't that nice?
That is nice.
Feels magical, doesn't it? All right, so those are fanned out. This is laid in. Now it's fun time. I'm going to switch out my water. I want to switch out my water, but I made my other water black. Can I get fresh water?
Yes, absolutely. Hold on, I will grab some.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to enjoy my hot coffee.
We'll make sure, before I go, I'll put on some little, stuff.
How are you guys doing? So what I'm hoping is that you're seeing here that all we've really done is do kind of a value study. We found a light source. We've highlighted the edges that were nearest the light source and put in shadow the edges that were blocked from the light source. That's all we did on a pretend three-dimensional space. Because we're just illusionists. So in this sense, I think we are kind of Harry Potter style magicians. In my opinion. That we're all just a little bit of magic. It is a good time to take your painting and maybe get a photograph of it and look at it on your phone and be like, how is that going? Do I see anything that's bothering me? Sometimes I've noticed that as I've been doing this and teaching, that when you're right up on the canvas, it can be really challenging to see what's working and what isn't working. Because you're too close to it, you've got to either step back or hold it up in a mirror or take a picture on your phone. Can't talk and drink at the same time. And the water got too warm. Yes, have you ever had that happen when you paint with paint with hot water and you're like, that can't be good for anything going on here. So the rest of the painting I'm going to be doing in my white, my fluid white. I may put out some fresh because this is even skinning. You probably won't need to put out paint as often as I do, simply because you won't be working underneath a bank of lights that are cooking you. Just different challenges.
Different challenges.
Now, one little thing I'm going to do here, while I can, is I've got my chalk pencil, and I'm going to help myself make some straight lines. I've got an inexpensive T-square I got at Michael's. But you're just looking for any of these little T-squares. Sometimes you can find them in the office supply. They're just plastic. They're not, just to make sure that my lines are vertical. So I'm going to try to bisect my dot in half and make vertical lines for my stars. I can get a little sideways in my practice. So I like my T-square. It gives me a hand. And then it does this cool thing. It'll give me my cross beam. So I'm trying to do a twinkle star. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I like doing twinkle stars.
I like the twinkle stars too.
They just make me happy. And I want them to be like yellow. And have that yellow color to them. And these guidelines really help me keep my kit together so my twinkles look decent. Otherwise they get like all off kilter. And I'm going to put in a shooting star.
Ooh, they say that the owlery is where the wing is. That makes
sense. There's a wing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
And Sylvie says that she just discovered you a week ago and has loved painting along with you. Just wanted to say thank you so much for putting up all the art. And we wanted to thank you guys for being here with us. So
I appreciate it greatly. And I can't wait to see everybody's castle. I want to see Angela's castle. I want to see Lindsay's castle. I want to see Hogwarts. We're going to just castle up, man.
What are you doing? What are you doing over there?
I have taken a little bit of my yellow.
You just went rogue.
I did. I took a little bit of, I've got my 3/0 detail brush. I'm getting a little yellow and a little white on the tip there. Can you see how it's just on the tip?
I do.
And I'm going to make a little dot.
Why are we doing a dot over here, though?
Shooting star.
Oh. Okay.
And I'm going to plant my wrist. And I'm going to use the arc of my wrist to get that curve.
Oh, yeah.
If I were to try to do a curve, I'd be shaking all the way over here.
I can totally see how that would be, yeah.
But I'm just to make up for my lack, like nobody's going to ask me to be a surgeon. So, I got to come up with methodology. So by resting and anchoring my wrist, I'm able to get these curves.
Get that tail going on there.
In a steady fashion.
Looking really cool.
Right? That's how I do it.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you, Kathy. Lots of people are saying they just love this painting.
I'm so glad.
I'm really loving it, too.
I was like hoping everybody would love it. It was an interesting journey to get here. I'm going to...
Now, you're back over there to those lines. What are you doing now?
So I've got my lines to help guide me. I'm anchoring my hand off the side of the canvas.
Yep.
And I'm pulling down.
This is really easy there with those little lines.
It's super easy, especially with the help of the lines. These ones I'm going to make a little bit shorter than the top, the vertical. The horizontal I'm going to make shorter. And then I'm going to have little cross lines coming out. Like that, little cross lines.
Ooh, I like it.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you
What I really like about this
Can I
painting...
get content ID'd for that?
I don't know. We'll find out. But what I really like about this painting is it's such an easy one for a beginner to do both like a cool space scene and a castle and really some introduction to some sky stuff.
Yeah, this is a good beginning galaxy introduction.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to do the same here. I'm anchoring off the side.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling up. When I do the stroke, I lighten my stroke so that just the tip of the brush is touching the canvas.
Yeah.
The fluidity of my paint, the fine tip of the brush, and my pressure is how I get lines. There is just a process. Some people have such steady hands and arms and shoulders. They don't need to anchor, but I am not one of those. It would be like wiggle if I didn't do that. Pulling down. And then I'm going to give myself some cross beams.
Mm.
Little twinkle out, twinkle, twinkle. So this is a magical night. Which is why these adventurers are clearly out. Wait till I put the red cape on.
Now you put little circles in the other picture.
I'm going to. I do that after I get all of my hard parts in.
Ah, okay.
So now I'm holding this side of my canvas.
Mm-hmm.
And I am still using the edge of the canvas to steady myself.
Ooh, it's your little brace.
Yeah, I need it. And I have to tell you, in art, one thing to not buy into is just because one person doesn't need it, don't then take it away from yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely includes like all of the tools to help drawing and all of the tools to help use like bridges and any of those painting assistant things. Do it. Use them, man.
Use it. And if ever anyone says to you, real artists, and then they finish the sentence, they go like this, real artists, you have my permission to go and leave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like
just
anything after that pretty much can be written off.
There have been very few artists that were highly skilled that began a sentence. Not that I'm not saying it never happens. I'm just saying it's not common with real artists.
Yeah.
So I've got my yellow here.
Now, why'd you pick up some yellow there?
Because I want these stars to be like, have that, stars have colors.
They had some color. They had some that light.
They do.
Glitters to them.
They have, there's blue sisters and these, sometimes they're yellow and so the light has a cast to it, doesn't it?
Sometimes they're red.
Mm-hmm. So these are yellow. The three sisters that are out today are a little bit yellow. And this is their fourth sister. I'm going to add a little yellow cast. I'm just actually dry brushing over the white. Now I'm going to grab just a little white on the tip and add that to the spires going out.
Oh, wow. So there's a lot of great ideas coming in here. So like some people were thinking they might add a flying car.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Or maybe like a whomping willow up on the hill.
Oh, that would be really good.
Oh, yeah. So there's lots of good ideas. Maybe, some dragons or
John, you gave me like 2 inches of water.
You get no water.
What's going on there?
I miss water.
I just looked over and you're rationing me.
No water
This
for you.
is a number 2 Studio Bright. So it's still a Bright. It's a number 2. This is short handles. Short handles will often be smaller, even though they say 2. So if you were to compare it to a number 2 and a long handle, significantly differently sized, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just something to know.
Good to know.
Good to know. I'm going to take out a little of my yellow. I'm going to tint it, tone it with a little of my red, so it's just a bit orange, a little bit warmer.
Ooh, Buck Peak. Yeah, that would be good.
And I'm going to come under here, and I'm going to pull down little strokes at even intervals till the castle would end.
That's the lights where they're inside having a
That's
big
feast
dinner
lights.
party. Yeah.
Now I could sit there and work out little arches and stuff like that if I felt like aggravating myself to death. But I don't.
No.
So I'm not gonna. Now I'm gonna grab a little yellow and maybe a little red together. I'm gonna come here in the front and make a little window right there.
Oh, just a little window.
Yeah. And maybe right here, I'm going to add a little window.
More little windows.
Little window. Definitely going to take a little of my yellow and red. And this is an interesting one I'm doing. I'm going to come right here. I'm going to draw a vertical line and then a horizontal line to pull out my window. I'm not going to paint the whole window, though. Notice that. Not doing it. Little red. Maybe a little one right here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 on the back tower. Maybe one right there.
This castle has lights.
It does. People are in it.
They're having parties.
They're doing stuff.
That's why we have the adventurers on the outside coming in. They're like,
That's
we want a
right.
party.
Well, they're going out.
Oh, they're going out.
They've snuck out.
Aha.
This is their time. They don't have another time that they can do it. They have to do it now.
They have to go.
They have to go now. I'm going to get my number 2 out, long handle. Now I'm going to take a little of my yellow and some white. I like the heavier body. And in the water here, I need more yellow. I'm going to add just a little light reflection from what is happening above.
Oh, just a little touch of...
Yeah. And then I'm going to also, a little more white. Oh, see the skin on that?
Oh, yeah. That's from all
The hot lights. I'm going to pull out some right here.
Get to
get my yellow.
Get to the good underneath there.
And I'm going to cast out some light from a source that's going to be, we're going to do here. So see how I'm radiating that out?
There's some stuff happening down there.
There's some stuff. Maybe there's something right here that I'm going to work out. That can come down the hill a little bit, but I'm doing
light.
it.
Some lights over there.
I'm going to get a little red on my brush with a little of my yellow. So I want it to be quite orange. I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to go around my ramparts carefully as I can. And it's a little yellow. I want it to be redder.
Oh.
So that'll happen to you. Like, you'll be like, oh, I want it to be redder. Go back and get red.
Oh, yeah. You're just like, I wanted party lights. So you're adding some light.
Yeah. We're having a thing. Now, right here, I'm going to throw out some light behind this bit in the red.
Oh.
I'm going to grab some yellow. And right off here, I'm going to throw a little light, and then along here, and then off this back side, coming down. Scumbling it out. See the light?
Your hair is just touching there. Oh, there it goes. For
See
whatever
light?
reason, I think I moved the canvas in the wrong place today. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's probably me. John always says it's him, but really it's me.
No. Robots.
So I've got that there, right?
Yeah.
I got a nice little amount of light. Get some more yellow. Right, maybe pass that out a little bit. Down the hill. We're just saying stuff is afoot. Castle's got a party going on.
That looks like a party in Castle to me. It does.
Party in Castle, but somebody snuck out.
They stuck out the side door.
They snuck out the side door. I'm going to add a little more enforced orange right here. Because I like it. I'm having fun. I'm going to get back into my little brush. Two little brushes. Because now we need to do little lights.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to get a little bit of my yellow on my brush, just my yellow. Bright yellow. I'm going to come make a dot and then make some rounded circles like I did in the sky.
Oh, yeah. To show that the lights.
Yep. Maybe one here. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fun. It's fun for me.
I like it.
So one right here. That's just how I like to talk about light. There's one little friend that came off here. This little torch went off over that way. They're lighting the way down.
Oh, yeah. That is cool.
Right? Down to the water. I got to show that that's happened. And when I know these are in, then I can sit there. I really liked putting one right here. And then that would definitely have a little, just a little bit of this would definitely impact your water. I'm going to trim that back a bit. Now I'm going to come to, interestingly enough, the boat. Make a little dot. They're sneaking out, but I mean they brought a light with them, so they're pretty sure everybody's too busy at the party.
Mm-hmm.
I am lighting the top of the boat with a touch of yellow. And then I might go around our little friend here with a little bit of yellow. See that?
Yeah.
When that's done, I'm going to pick up some of my fluid white, come back, add a dot.
Oh, hold on.
Sorry, I'm going to be all back up at the castle again.
Okay.
Being a pain. Being a pain.
Let's take it over there.
Just lighten it up. Isn't that nice?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Makes me happy. Do you love it? I love it. Pain in Hogwarts with my friends today. So weird. Okay, so
I'm loving this.
Because John loves to hang these things on the wall.
I do. It's my thing. I love all the paintings. And you know what? I really love seeing our community's paintings too.
I know you do.
I know it's like you guys. You hear me say it all the time here, but I really do. It's like one of my favorite things. I get up in the morning with my tea, and I come in here and I look at all the paintings that I see on you guys from social media.
Whoa, that castle's so lit up.
It's looking so good.
You know, I might just think about just this edge here to define it. Clean up some of that right there. Sometimes it's nice to just come in with a light, right?
Yeah.
Just gives it a little definition. Come down the front of the hill if you want with this. Just a little bit. You could say, oh, this might have cost a little light right here, huh?
Uh-huh.
Coming by. So that's a nice touch. Her cloak.
Yes.
Best part of this whole story.
The cloak.
To me.
I love it.
Is the cloaked figure. And to do the cloaked figure, I take a little bit of my red over to my Dog's Name purple, and I make like this deep, deep kind of wine color with the two of them. See how that's kind of like a wine color?
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to make a little dot. This person's standing, so they'll be taller than the person sitting. Come off with a little shoulder that swoops down, and a little cape If you've painted with me for a while, you know me. I love me a red cape.
Mm-hmm.
Tapering, blowing off into the wind. Look at that. Something has happened. They have to go into the night.
Into the night.
To save the world. Can you imagine being little and looking at this painting? I used to do that to look at paintings and try to see all the stuff in them and wonder what the story was. I'm going to come around with pure Cad Red.
Mm-hmm.
Around the cape. And then, there you go.
Wow, that's great.
And all you got to do left is sign it.
Just to sign it.
Just to sign it. Because you have visited Hogwarts today. So let's... This is also
amazing.
a good signature brush.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to load up my white and put it into that purple mixture I have. Because I don't want my signature to be a little bright and overwhelming, but I'm going to put it over here under this light.
While you're signing that, I'm going to say thank you to everybody who's come out with us today. We had so many of our community come out here and join us. It's been great. I've seen Daisy and Daisy's sister. She's here today with us to celebrate her birthday. She's 47. Hi, Tracy. Love all you guys from the community who's been out here with us today. Appreciate all of our moderators. Love you guys so much.
I love that everybody came out. I saw a lot of people at all the castle collabs.
Yes, it's been great. Angela's been here, and I've seen all of our moderators here, and I mean, gosh, it's just been so wonderful for this whole thing. So thank you guys. This is pretty fantastic. Lindsay wanted to say thank you for coming and being part of this and joining. Angela, too. I see you guys all out there in chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you. And remember, you can find Lindsay's castle, which is in watercolor. You guys ask about that all the time. How do I do this in watercolor? She's got like a bazillion. That's a correct technical term of watercolor lessons that you can go do right now. And Angela did the beautiful fairy tale castle. So, like, really, I think one of us hit whatever your castle was. This was voted on by the Angelooney community, and we just appreciated your contribution in helping us decide what to create and what to share. And I want to thank my collaborators, and I want to see you guys at the easel really soon. Bye-bye.